All right, welcome back everybody. My name is Pritesh here with KAIZN Crypto, bringing you guys another video. So here today, a fun little graphic that I put forth for you guys here. We're going to be taking a look at what is a fair value for Cardano. So if you guys are interested in that type of content, be sure to stay tuned. All right, everyone, thank you so much for joining me here today. I hope you guys are all doing well. What we're going to be looking at is a quick info graphic that I've made, put forth together just to kind of show you a visual representation of some things that I'm looking for in regards to price for the next coming cycle. Now, before we do get started, I just want to preface by saying that I am not a financial advisor, and this video is not intended to be financial advice. You guys know the whole spiel. If you guys do need financial advice, be sure to contact somebody who is qualified to do so. This is purely speculation and just for entertainment purposes. But now that we've got that out of the way, here are going to be some things that I'm looking for in terms of the price for ADA going forward into the next cycle. So you guys know, if you are subscribed to the channel, I'm a huge fan of Cardano. Being involved with the project for several years now, getting a stake pool up and running. It's been quite the journey, and here are some of my thoughts in terms of what I'm looking for in terms of price for the project. So I guess that begs the question to start things off. It's what is a fair value for Cardano? Cryptocurrencies, they're highly regarded as a speculative investment. It's not something that you see in most traditional asset funds. You don't see most capital allocators in traditional markets talking about crypto like how they would traditional stocks or equities, bonds, anything like that. So cryptocurrency is still, I believe it's a niche asset, and I think that paves the way for a lot of room to grow for the project in terms of price. So now, taking a look at it here, I think that a good way to be able to tell where we can go forward here is to actually go back in time. So now if we go back, Cardano ICO'd back in 2000, I believe it was 2017, and the ICO price for that was 0.0024 cents. So a quarter of a penny. And it launched in 2017 with a $62.2 million ICO. Now, if we divide the $62.2 million over the individual price during the ICO, that gives us our circulating supply. Now, if there is any information that you guys would like to correct me on, please be sure to do that down in the comments section. This is all subjective. A lot of these prices could change. So, take this with a grain of salt, but this is just to show you a visual representation. So we have a 25.9 billion circulating supply. Let's say if you were to have invested $1,000 at ICO, you would be at 416,667 ADA. So quite a sum, but that's just some of the numbers that we're looking at as we go back towards ICO time. Now, if we go a little bit further, and if we take a look at the previous all-time high, so now ICO was back in 2017. We had a previous all-time high in January of 2018. So really doesn't leave a whole lot of time there from when we went from a fraction of a penny to over $1. So really just a huge blow off top. You guys can see here with the chart that I've got. Essentially the percent gain from ICO at Cardano's all-time high price of $1.33, 55,400%. So 554x return on investment. So insane multiples. So now we've got a better understanding of where we've gone and what we've been through in terms of price. So where are we now? Well, currently the project is set to launch Shelley here, most likely sometime in Q2 of 2020. That is going to allow for full decentralization of the project. We're going to see the transition from federated nodes held by the Cardano Foundation, IOHK, Emergo, and transitioning over to a fully decentralized proof-of-stake protocol. And then shortly after that, we're going to be anticipating Goguen, most likely going to be in Q3 of 2020. And what Goguen is going to allow for is the building out of smart contracts on the platform. So similar to Ethereum, we can actually start to program different types of apps into the protocol to be able to allow for transactions as opposed to just sending and receiving. So now these two milestones are very highly anticipated, and after these two have been achieved, Cardano will arguably be the most decentralized blockchain that can run dApps on proof of stake. And currently the price of ADA is just over 3.5 cents. So let's take a look here now. So we're gonna show me the money, right? So let's see, as far as price, I mean, this video is intended to be all about price. What are some other reference points that we can use to get a better understanding? Because we can see that Cardano is still, very much under the radar at just over 3 cents. It's pennies still, and we're still anticipating those updates. So if we take a look at a protocol that's been out for a while, so just to show you as an example here, I've got some prominent names as far as companies and cryptos, and this is just to gauge a better understanding of some different valuations of all these companies and projects. So Bitcoin, being the most prominent cryptocurrency, been around for over 11 years, it's achieved a market cap currently at $126 billion. And then if we take a look also, Ethereum is going to be the number 2 crypto by market cap, sitting at about $19 billion. And that puts us to Cardano currently, which is sitting at just over 900 million. So now those are some of the cryptos that we're looking at here. And I think that that'll give us a better benchmark understanding of what we can anticipate going forward. Now, if we take a look at something like gold, right? Gold has been around since the earth was created. It's been used as money since the beginning of recorded history. I think that gold has served as a barometer of value, and it's got a proven track record. Right now, market cap, and you guys take from this what you will, this is all subjective. Gold market cap could be more or less if you consider paper contract as well, but right about 9 trillion for physical. JP Morgan Chase, so huge bank, one of these big monopoly banks, $271 billion. Visa, payment processor, so $345 billion. And PayPal also a settlement layer for transactions, eBay, online marketplace, they go through PayPal, $126 billion. One thing that I found very interesting, just to point out, Bitcoin market cap and PayPal market cap are around about the same ballpark. So I think that's very interesting considering that Bitcoin has been around for significantly less time than something like PayPal. And the use case is very similar. It's just that PayPal requires the necessity of a middleman, whereas Bitcoin completely cuts that out. So I think we're going to see a lot of these names here being disrupted because of the technology that we see behind Bitcoin. So just a couple of notes there, but this is just to give you a better understanding of some different numbers we're looking at. Now, where are we going? So what we're anticipating here coming up very shortly is going to be the launch of Shelley on the mainnet. Now, I've been involved with the incentivized testnet since it came out, and I've been operating my stake pool since just recently. So I've had a fair bit of experience with the testnet. Of course, there are stake pool operators have been, running their operations since the beginning. But nonetheless, being involved, I think that from what we see with all this data, the testnet staking results currently indicate that more than 40% of the total available supply is staked. And that's around about 12.7 billion ADA. Now, keep in mind also, with this being said, we're going to have a huge number of stake pool operators coming in and trying to operate stake pools. Just from the testnet alone, we can see over 1,000 plus stake pools. Some of these are operational, some are not, but it just goes to show you the amount of participation that we might be able to anticipate when Shelley's on mainnet. Now, one thing to keep in mind with these stake pools, in order to participate and run a stake pool, you have to go through something called a pledge. And what a pledge does is it provides an incentive for the stake pool operator to operate in the best interest of the protocol, because the pledge requires you to tie up ADA, so real funds, into this operation so that you can maintain the network. So that's one thing to keep in mind. As far as being able to operate a stake pool, you have to set aside what we're seeing right now, and this could change, but maybe around about 100,000 ADA It could be more, it could be less, but I think that's a nice even number to work with. And if we have over 1,000 plus stake pools, that's probably going to be more than 100 million in ADA just for staking purposes, for stake pool operators. And then what we've seen also from the testnet, 392 million plus ADA have been distributed in testnet rewards. So what we can see with that being said, I think it's a conservative estimate to say that potentially half of the total supply is going to be reserved simply for staking. So if you think about that, that's just wild. It's like half of all ADA in existence is going to be delegated for staking. So now what does that leave us here in terms of basic economics? So that brings us to supply and demand. So with that being the case, less supply available from staking, so the less supply, increased demand, that is going to have an effect on price, I'm sure. And then we also see some developments happening with the global macroeconomic scenario. We can see right now we're experiencing negative yields. We're experiencing unprecedented amount of quantitative easing. We're seeing all these different things happening with our current monetary system. And I think that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies in general, will profit immensely from what is going to be transpiring here with the current monetary system. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I think that we're setting up for an incredible opportunity. And then that brings us to taking a look at some of these prices here if we take a look in terms of market cap. So what I've done here with this visual is I've taken the market cap of all of these companies' assets respectively, and I've divided that by the total circulating supply of ADA. So an example, if we take a look at Bitcoin here, current market cap is 126 billion. Current circulating supply of ADA, 25.9 billion. So if you divide the two, you're going to get a price of around about $4.87. And I've went ahead and done this for all these different companies and assets. So there are a couple outliers here I just wanted to point out. We can see Bitcoin, right? That's 126 billion. ETH is sitting at a $19 billion market cap, and we saw earlier that Cardano was at a 900 million. I think that we're going to achieve this pretty easily, especially if we see staking go live on the mainnet. I think 74 cents is very conservative for a Cardano price. And then if we take a look at gold, is another outlier, right? $9 trillion. That would put ADA price at $347. So from what we see here, there's a couple of outliers. JP Morgan Chase, 271 billion. That puts you at about a $10 ADA. Visa, 345 billion. Puts you at about $13. PayPal, 126 billion, same as Bitcoin. So I wanted to point this out here because I think that it is a very viable number if we're taking a look at the current Bitcoin market cap and something like that of PayPal. This to me seems the most likely. So as we progress through this visual here, I just want to show you my thought process. If we look at these different outliers, I feel like these numbers are possible, but I think that these numbers are more probable. So let's continue now. If we take a look, going over to fair value. So what is really the fair value that we can anticipate with Cardano? So once we see all these developments happen, Cardano is essentially going to be a decentralized global financial and social operating system. So, with the evolution that we've seen with the project, going back to taking a look at Bitcoin just to see what it has done in the past, being that it has been the most disruptive out of all the cryptos that we've experienced so far. That's not to say that Cardano couldn't completely eclipse that, but I think it's a good reference point to look at something like Bitcoin. So Bitcoin at 20K, that was a previous all-time high, had a market cap of $367 billion. And if we take a look, a lot of people are anticipating a six-figure Bitcoin. So if you take a look at 100K Bitcoin, that would put you at a market cap of $1.8 trillion. Now, where was Cardano when Bitcoin hit its previous all-time high? So Cardano's previous all-time high at $1.33 put it at a market cap of $34 billion. So with that being the case, previous all-time high for Cardano was 1/10 of the Bitcoin market cap, roughly speaking. So now if we divide 1.8 trillion, which is the anticipated market cap for Bitcoin at its anticipated new all-time high, and you divide that by 10, you're looking at about $180 billion. So Cardano at 180 billion market cap divided by circulating supply puts you at about just less than $7. So with that being the case, this is all completely speculative, and this is just me trying to throw out some numbers and figure out what makes sense. I believe, and this is just my opinion, that in the next cycle, a fair valuation for Cardano, we might see anywhere between $4 to $7. And I think that could easily be attained. It's just a matter of, what the market decides is the fair value. So what do you guys think? What do you feel is a fair value for Cardano? Let's talk about it. Let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you guys. If you all did find some value from this video here today, please be sure to drop a like. And if you enjoy content like this, be sure to stick around. Hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned for future videos. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.